Okay, good morning. Let's start. Today we will go to the geometry book. Now, and we will start with chapter 4. Our lesson is talking about congruent figures. Here now we learn how can we recognize, how can we know if these figures are congruent or no by comparing each corresponding parts. Now, look at this picture here. You are working on a puzzle and you have almost finished, except for a few pieces of the sky. Place the remaining Kirs, did you hear me?
Yes, teacher, I hear you. I'm hearing you.
There's a girl writing on the pad that is not hearing you.
Ah, yes, that's.
Nada.
Yes, Nada, I'm talking.
Mommy, you.
Okay, so look at this one here. Can I go out and come back? Okay, yes. Now look at this puzzle here. As you see, you played all of it and you almost finished except for a few pieces of the sky. Place the remaining pieces in the puzzle. Yalla, I want you to match one with A or one with B.
Can I, teacher?
Yes, Farah.
2 with C.
2 with C.
1 with B. And 3 with A.
Okay, Farah, how did you know?
From the sizes.
So you look at them, you look at how can you put the congruent or the congruent piece into its place.
Yes.
Okay. So this is
Page.
it is a new geometry book.
Okay.
Now, so here now Farah, she told me how can she put which piece in its place by know what how the where's the congruent place, where the congruent piece, where it will be now. So the congruent figures have the same size. What's the meaning of, if I'm also asking you about congruent, what's the meaning of congruent figures?
Equal shapes. Equal figures.
And equal. And
Have
what?
the same shape and size.
They are the same in shape and size. Okay, they are the same in shape and size. So the congruent figures have the same size as, this one, like if you want to draw, it's like this. They are the same size and also the same shape, like rectangle with rectangle, triangle with triangle. So when two figures are congruent, you can slide them. As you see here, I can put the shape and I slide it here. I can flip it. You can put a mirror here and you can flip it. Did you know what's the meaning of slide and flip and turn?
Yes.
And also
Slide
you can turn it. What's the meaning of turn it? Like if you put your hand and turn it.
Changing direction from left to right or from right to left.
Yes, look at this shape here. How can I turn the shape? Can you imagine here? Look at this shape. It's starting, or at the first it's like this. Then after that, I will make it like this. Imagine how it will be. I will put it from first I flip it, then I flip it another time. Like it will be turn. This have to be turn. I turn off. I turn the shape. Or it can be flipped, or it can be slide. So, if two figures are congruent, you can slide them, flip them, or turn them. Now, in this lesson today, I want you to, we will learn how can we determine if these geometric figures are congruent or no. How can I know by that if these two figures are congruent or no? By comparing their corresponding parts. What does it mean? That's mean I have to compare this part with this part. Then if these two corresponding parts are congruent and the other elements are congruent, I will say that these two shapes are congruent. Later on, I will talk about it. But the first things I want you to know from here that if in this lesson, we are talking about how can we determine that if these geometric figures are congruent or no. Now, let's start. Before talking about congruent, what's the meaning of congruent shapes? As I told you, let's have all the sides and the angles exactly the same. As you look here, look at these two triangles. Look at these two hexagons, pentagons, hexagons also. Oh, they are all, not hexagons, sorry. They are octagons. All of these shapes are the same. And also, if I look at this cube down here, all these cubes have congruent squares. If you made them, you will make a cube. Now, what is the difference between, or is congruent, is its meaning that they are the same? Or is there a difference between congruent and same?
No.
No, see here. There's a difference. A congruent shape, that's mean it has same shape and same size. They have same size and same shape. If they have same size and same shape, I can say that they are congruent. But the similar shape, that they have same shape but not in the same size, like this triangle and this triangle. They are the same, both of them are triangle, but they are not on the same size. So I can say that they are similar to each other. But if I'm talking about these two shapes, that they have the same shape, like triangle and triangle, and the same size, if these two things are happened, same size, same shape, I can say these two shapes are congruent. But if it's only the same shape but not the same size, I will say that it is what? Similar. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, miss.
Okay. So did you know what is the difference between congruent and similar?
Congruent, they're all the same size, but the other one is not the same size, but the same shape, but not the same size. Right?
Yes. And the similar only with the same shape. Now I want to ask you a question. Is all the congruent figures is similar?
No.
Yes.
No.
All the congruent figures is similar?
Teacher,
Think
he
about
means
it.
that if I have
All the shapes that they are congruent are similar?
No.
Yes.
Think
yes,
about it, girls.
Yes. Yes.
Who will say yes?
Me. Sarah.
Farah.
Yes, miss.
Why yes?
Because teacher,
Because
if I
teacher
have
must
two shapes,
because if we would name it a congruent, then it should have the same size and angle.
Okay. So all the congruent shapes are similar?
Yes. No.
you mean similar or
same?
No, teacher, it's
Similar or
different.
same? That's the
Maybe a
same meaning.
square is not congruent to maybe a circle. It's not the same thing.
Girls,
teacher?
I will repeat my question. All the congruent shapes are similar. That's mean if I'm talking about these two shapes, they are congruent. Are they similar?
No.
Why no? They don't have the same shape?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So all the congruent shapes are similar, but not all the similar are congruent.
Congruent.
Because, okay, it could be similar. It could be have the same shape, but not have the same size. Is it clear now?
Yes.
Okay. So if I'm talking if I told you that these two shapes are congruent by have two things, same size, same shape, but the similar they have only same shape. Now look at these two triangles. This triangle here now, or each these triangles have how many sides? 3 sides. And how many angles? 3 angles also. So the triangle of ABC, how can or when can I know that, or when can I say that this triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF? When can I say this triangle is congruent to the another triangle? I have to check them. I cannot say if just I look at these two triangles, I can say if they are congruent. No, I have to check each angle and each side in them.
Miss, are you talking or writing?
No.
Ah,
Now, here we have two triangles. Triangle ABC and also triangle PQR. Now, each two triangles have three sides and three angles. Here we have three sides. Then, if you look at the side AB, as you see, side AB is congruent to side PQ, and side AC is congruent to side PR, and side BC is congruent to side QR. So, I will repeat. Here we have these two triangles. Each triangle has three sides and three angles. So, side AB is congruent to side PQ, and side BC is congruent to side QR, and side AC or CA is congruent to side RP. And also, angle A is congruent to angle P, and angle B is congruent to angle Q, and angle C is congruent to angle R. Now, so here we have two triangles. These two triangles have each side are congruent with the other side, like AB and PQ, BC and QR, CA and RP. And also, angle A is congruent to angle P, angle B is congruent to angle Q, and angle C is congruent to angle R. So because of that, since all of these elements, all the angles and all the sides are congruent, I can say that the triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR. This sign, its mean is congruent to. What does it mean? It's this one. As you see, it has an equal sign and this sign. This means that it has same shape and same size. So I will say yes.
this sign of the congruent sign, and the last thing that appeared in my screen, that triangle ABC only.
Okay. I think because of internet, you have to wait.
Yes.
The others, did you disappear for you?
Yes, miss, I can see clear.
Okay. So by now, the angle ABC is congruent to the angle the triangle ABC is congruent to the triangle PQR. Does it appear to you, Farah, now?
No. No problem, miss. I know what is the congruent sign.
So because of that, here each side are congruent with the others. Okay, so because of that, we can say, since all the 6 elements are congruent, we can say that this triangle ABC is congruent to PQR. Each side that's corresponding to the other side. What's the meaning of corresponding? What's the meaning by corresponding elements? And do I need to compare all the elements? So can we say that these two shapes are congruent? Did I want to compare each side and each angle?
Teacher, the screen is black.
No, I'm not talking. I want to check. So my question is, what's the meaning by corresponding elements? Okay, what we know what's the meaning of congruent. Like, what's the meaning of corresponding elements? What's the meaning of correspondence? Look at these two triangles here. ABC and triangle PQR. Now, here you have to know that if I want, okay, if I want now to check the correspondence of two shapes, I have the meaning of corresponding is specific manner and not randomly. That's mean if you want to retype the letters, you will say A, B, C. You will not say it's randomly. Then, because we start with A, B, C, like in the end with counterclockwise, I will say also P, Q, R with counterclockwise. Later on, I will see you how. So, I want you to know that if I want to draw any two shapes, it must have the same manner. It cannot be randomly. If I want to draw them, I will draw them correspondence to each other. What does it mean? That's mean vertex A is vertex A is corresponding to vertex B. Vertex B is corresponding to Q, and vertex C is corresponds to R. And what also? So this sign, this arrow, that's mean it corresponds. Like side AB, when can I say that ABC is correspond to PQR? Look at these two vertices, they are corresponds. P and Q, they are corresponds. C and R, they are corresponds also. So, and also that A and B, they are corresponds to P and Q. And A and C, they are corresponds to P and R. And B and C, they are corresponds to Q and R. So if you want to draw two figures, you have to draw them in correspondence or in corresponding to the other triangle. The one triangle must be drawn corresponding to the other triangle. Now look here. What does it mean? I mean that if you have this rectangle, and another rectangle here, I want now to check the corresponds, or I want to make them corresponding. I want to make triangle, a rectangle A, B, C, D is corresponds to W, X, Y, and Z. Look at how can I start? A, like alphabetic. A, B, C, D, then W, X, Y, and Z. The first one is A, B, C, D. Now, if you want to draw them, look here. I put A here, then B here, C here, and D here. Good luck. How can how my move will be? I starting from A, B, C, and D. I start from here, then I row C here, and I will end with D here. And since I moved like in this way, I also, if I want to write the letters in the another shape, I have to put them as I move in the first one. I will not put Y, X, Z, W, X, Y, and Z like this. This is false. I told you that if you start moving in the first shape by this way, so you will have also to move in this side by this way. What does it mean? That's mean if I start with W here, then X here, then Y here, and end with Z here. Here, that's mean of corresponding. Is understand? Did you understand it? Is it clear?
Teacher, how can I use corresponding?
Use it for what?
Yes, this is my question.
How can you use it for what?
And Miss, I will say, you say for me, find the corresponding points. So I'll tell you.
No. I will not ask you find the corresponding points. Here, I told you why. Here, look at the definition of the congruent figures. They have congruent corresponding parts. So before I check if it's congruence, I have to make them corresponding. Just that. I want you to draw them to be corresponding. If they are corresponding, if they are now A, B, C, D is corresponds to W, X, Y, Z, if they are corresponds, I can now check if they are congruent or no. If they are not corresponding, if they are drawing like this and like this as an example, can I check their congruent? No, I have to make them corresponding, to make them writing in the same letter, in the same way, then I will check that if they are congruent or no. So the first thing, don't forget about it here now, that if I want to draw the shapes, you have to make them corresponding. Shape A, B, C, D is corresponds to W, X, Y, and Z. If you started with them, as an example, these two triangles here, and I will name them, like look here, A, B, C. Then on the other side, I will name it as P, as P, Q, and R. This is the mean of corresponding. Corresponding, that's mean they are specific in specific manners and not randomly. So by that, add the quiz or add any sheets I want to draw them. Dana will draw like Farah, will draw like teacher Dima as an example. By making them corresponding, by making them with a same manner. This is the mean of corresponding.
Miss Teacher, I will correspond them by saying the same direction and the same points corresponding.
Yes, exactly. Yes, you have to move in the same direction. You move from A, then B, then C. Here you have to move in the same way.
Okay.
You cannot put them like this. A, B, C, and P, Q, R. This is false. These two shapes are not corresponding. I have to draw them in the same manner.
Miss Teacher, PQR. Here it's written QPR, not PQR, yes?
Yes, QPR. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, now, so the congruent polygons have congruent corresponding parts. Now, by now, we know what's the meaning of corresponding. So if these two corresponding parts are congruent, we can say that this one is a congruent polygons. Now, did I need to compare all the elements, all the sides, and all the angles? Yes. If I want to say that these two shapes are congruent, I have to check all the elements, all the angles, and all the sides. Now, if I'm talking about this triangle, did you remember how many statements did he wrote? How many statements? He talked about side AB, that's corresponding with side DE, and BC, that corresponds with side BC, so I have to move in the same direction. EF, then CB is corresponds with FD, and also talk about, now the angles here. Angle A is corresponds to angle D. B, it corresponds to angle E. and C corresponds to angle F. So how many statements did I wrote? How many corresponding statements did I wrote? Congruent statements. Look at them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now how many sides hold the shape?
3.
3. Don't forget these two numbers. Now, come here. Here now we have two shapes, and these two shapes, A, B, C, and D, is congruent to E, F, G, and H. So by now, AB is congruent to EF. And also, BC, look at my movement, how will be, is the same as congruent as to FG. And also, DC is congruent to GH, and also DA is congruent to HE. Don't forget the movement. A, then B, B, then C, C, then D, D, then A. Here is the same. Look here, you started from down going up. So E to F, then F to G, then G to H, then H to E. This now I check all the sides that they are corresponding, if they are congruent or no. They are congruent. Now look at the angles. Angle A is congruent to angle E. And also, angle B is congruent to angle F. And also, angle C is congruent to angle G. And angle H is congruent to angle D. So, when you name congruent polygons, you must list all the corresponding vertices in the same order, and also you have to check all the sides and all the angles if they are corresponding or not. Now, by comparing these two sides and these two angles, we found that they are congruent. Okay, now how many statements or congruent statements did I wrote?
8.
8. Okay, and how many sides for the shape?
4.
4. So every time here, if you multiplying 4 by 2, you will get what? You will get 8.
8.
Is it right? So if I'm talking about a shape that's at quadrilateral with 4 sides, so I have to write 8 statements. Every time is 2 times n. N is the number of the sides. So I will say that the number of the congruence elements is 2 times n, whereas n is the number of the sides. That's mean. I'm talking about a quadrilateral shape that has 4 sides. So has how many elements did I wrote? 2
8.
times 4, which is 8. Go back here now. For this triangle, how many sides for the triangle? 3.
6.
So how many elements did I wrote?
6.
6.
6.
Thank you. If you have a hexagon now, did you know how many sides for the hexagon? How many sides for the hexagon? They are 6 sides.
6, 6.
So since the hexagon has 6 sides, so how many congruence
12.
element? Thank you.
12.
It's 12, which is 6 times 2. If I'm talking about polygon, how many sides for the polygon? Sorry. For the pentagon.
8.
Pentagon.
5.
5.
5.
So how many elements did I wrote now?
10.
10. For the octagon,
7.
the octagon, it has 8 sides.
8 sides.
So how many elements?
16.
Equals
16.
Thank you. You have to write 16 elements in the congruent, or 16 statements in the congruence. This was our lesson today. Please re-watch the video because it's very important, because it's the beginning of our chapter in geometry. Do you have any question?
No, teacher, thank you so much.
No, miss. Thank you, teacher, so much.
You are
Goodbye,
welcome.
miss.
Goodbye.
Have a nice
Have
day.
a nice time. Thank
Bye,
you.
teacher.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
teacher. Bye.